Hi, welcome to Minor League Matters, and today we're going to try out something, doing the live stream thing, seeing how well it goes. I'm not sure that I've got a high enough stream rate where I'm at. It's a fairly typical broadband stream, but it's not like you run into where you've got really high bandwidth. So we'll see how it turns out. And of course, today the reason we're here is because minor league baseball is starting up right now. Actually, started today. The first game was at about 4 o'clock. I think it was 4:10 between the Oklahoma City Dodgers and the Iowa Cubs. And now we've got a whole bunch of others going on. And if I can figure out how to do it, what I'm going to do is stream these to you a little bit and comment on a few games as they go. Because why else would I buy the minor league package if I wasn't going to watch it and comment on it a little bit? So let's see what we can do here. Still trying to figure out this streaming material, this streaming program. So if I don't get it right, I'm sorry, but we'll see what we can do. Let's see. Now it does not want to stream in while I'm streaming out. So it may be too much of a feed for me to be able to watch MiLB TV at the same time I'm streaming out. Okay, already a subscriber. Let me go there and start it up. And it is taking a while to load up. Wow, it's not showing me any of the games. That's interesting. Apparently, while I'm live streaming, well, there they go. Thought for a second it wasn't going to let me watch any of the games while I'm live streaming. Everything is pretty much started. Now there are, from the West Coast or the Western areas, there are later games. In although Kane County is going to start any moment now. A lot of teams out west that are running later. And one that's already finished, the 4:08 game that started in Iowa. Iowa City here, the Iowa Cubs. Now let's see what we got going on right now. Second game between Oklahoma City and Iowa Cubs. Way to start out the season right, doubleheader. Altoona and Akron, who don't really care. Lansing is playing at the Great Lakes against the Loons. That was always that was a very interesting stadium. I liked that place a lot. Although it was somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. I just followed my Google Maps thing until it got me there. Charlotte's playing Durham. These are all games that have been going on for a while. Let's see one that started somewhere about 7. The Mudcats. Okay. Winston-Salem is playing the Mudcats. So one of my favorite logos versus my one of my least favorite logos. The Winston-Salem has a terrible logo. The dash. Okay. Logging in. Run Adobe Flash because holy cow, how many of these places still use Flash rather than using more up-to-date streams? And it is starting. I know y'all can't see it yet. I'm working on a separate web page, seeing what I can do to get this going. Other than the stream here, and 0-0 dash Mudcats playing at the Mudcats, who seem to have a same stadiums they've always had, but it looks fairly for the ones one of the cool logos and everything. They're kind of away from everything else, and it's kind of a shame. They have been bought by the mothership, which for them is the Brewers, I think. and probably means that they will not see a huge improvement in their stadium and not see a huge, not be moved or anything. Not that I really want them to be moved. Never a big fan of that. So, whack. Yeah. So, let's see what we can do to get this over here on your screens. Let's see, there's screen capture, game capture. Well, no, we're not got a game going. Devices, video and audio. Well, devices, you're already seeing the 922 whatever Logitech thing, which is really pretty good camera. Better than most things. Text, don't need that. Web page, yeah, we'll see about that in a second. Media, nope, nah, not looking for media. Streams, let's see if I can get this. Flash stream, IP, camera, new tech NDI stream. I don't know what the other two are, but let's see about the flash stream. Will it pick up the stream I've got going? Add RTMP stream. Not sure what that means.
Want to miss his fans? For more information or to book Muddy, call 919-269-2287 or email bookmuddy@carolinamudcats.com.
Whole bunch of RTMP stuff. Will it get there? Nope. It didn't get there, so let's erase that. Well, let's try number one. Let's see what else we can do to try to get the source in. Web page, widgets, image, Skype, video playlist, whiteboard. Uh-oh, drop frames detected. I'm going to assume that that means that the feed, up feed, has had some problems. This is not the most reliable internet feed that I've ever had in my life. Let's see. Nope. MiLB still running, so it's pretty good. People sitting around with the cool Mudcats hats and stuff on. Okay. Well, what we're going to try now is a web page input. So here is the web page input for my MiLB.
Steps in for Winston-Salem. Weston Wilson over at first, playing way off the.
Aha! We have MiLB on the screen. Let's see how we do it. Where am I going to stick it so it doesn't cover my face? Or doesn't... Oh, I'll sit over here. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, okay. MiLB. Now let's see if it'll let me hook in. Already a subscriber. Yes, I am already a subscriber. Hook me in, guys.
But a kick save and a beauty. That one hit him in the leg and they just bounced right at Weston Wilson.
Well, already a subscriber. Right now. Nice. It is not giving me the feeds. Come on, give me the feeds. Not cool, guys. Maybe if I cut it off on the other, cut off Firefox and just try to pull it up. Nope, that doesn't seem to be working either. Well, I'll try this again just to make sure. It does not want to cooperate. Daggone it. The objective here is to make commentary. I can capture it off the dang screen. I really wanted to. Again, it's telling me drop frames, which I suspect means we're not getting a good feed. Anyway, sources of screen capture. I don't want screen capture. Game capture. Devices. Text, web page, media files, streams, widgets. Get more sources. It's just showing the commercial for MiLB. It's not taking me to the daggone actual MiLB, giving me my subscription fill. That's really a shame. Would have liked to have done that. Really a shame. Well, since it will not cooperate, I am probably just going to remove it and see what else I can do. Let's remove. And, short of doing the sticking the games up on this thing, how well does that show if I do it? Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Okay. I think that I am defeated as to how to get live streams to show up here. Really shame. What happens if I do half a screen? I can do the old, not the old, but Windows do that. Windows do that. You probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm splitting the screen in half to see if it'll work that way. Because I can see on the left-hand side here, well, that away. Over there, I've got the split screen on my on my computer split in half, and I'm trying to see what I can do with this. More drop frames. I get the feeling I'm probably not getting the greatest stream to y'all, and I apologize for that. But this is an experiment to see how it goes. So let's pull up the Mudcats, and I'm pretty sure I can get them to run on the other one, in Firefox. It's gonna make me log in again. It remembers me. Interestingly enough, run Adobe Flash. Okay, run Adobe Flash. Remember to run Adobe Flash, because apparently that's what they use rather than straight video feed. Yep. Okay. Ooh.
Strike three. That was a beauty right
All
there.
strike
Dunning.
three.
It struck out now two straight going back to the end of the first inning, one down.
Sources, screen capture.
To the plate, Weston Wilson.
That's interesting. And what do you know? I can get a live feed going. So, here we go. Wow, it does not. It's not cooperating much. It doesn't like the fact that I'm upstreaming and downstreaming at the same time. So here we got the Dash and the Mudcats. Again, and boom. Oh, that sunk. Okay, let's see what else we can come up with here. Let's look at Lansing, the Lugnuts versus the Loons, see where that's going. That one should be pretty far along, seeing as how it started at 6:05. MiLB kind of is a strange site, right? They don't have it, unfortunately, on Roku, or at least I've not been able to find it on Roku, which drives me nuts. And so I end up having to watch it on my computer. I can watch it on my computer. Or
clearly warmed up despite the cold. 1-0 on Williams is 0 for 2 on opening day. Lansing with 2 on. Noda on second. Smith on first. The 1-0. That just grabs the inside part of the strike zone. A good fastball from Anuris Zabala. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Zabala, a returning Loon. Thickly built. Works exclusively from the stretch. Brown glove, chest high, red long sleeves. The pitch is belted out of play. Light tower high, but off to the left. The count is 1-2. Zabala's got some good hair work done. Got a good barber.
Talking about the beard or the actual hair on his head?
I was talking about the actual hair on his head. It's a little bit more intricate than it was last year. He's almost got a bun.
Yeah. It looks like a man bun with the hat on.
It's got to be hard to contain all that hair with the hat as he steps off the rubber. Well, you would know. 1-2. I don't have hair like that. Here's the pitch. That was a spinning breaking ball that stayed outside, and it popped out of the mid of the catcher, Ramon Rodriguez. It trickles into the grass left of the circle, and both runners advance. That's a wild pitch. Or did they say pass ball?
Wild pitch.
Okay. They said wild pitch.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. It was way outside. Tough for catchers to squeeze in the cold, that's for sure. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Christian Williams. Runners on second and third now. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew him away with a fastball on the inside edge. 98 miles per hour from Anuri Zabala. He needed just 1 out, and he got it. And Lansing strands 2 runners in the 5th inning.
One of the more famous teams. Let's see what's going on in Durham then. Charlotte's only about 4 hours from where I'm at, which means it's the second closest, I think. It's between it and Louisville that are the closest AAAs from where I'm at. So I've ended up in Charlotte a few times. I do tend to go to Louisville more because I grew up being a Reds fan, and despite the fact that their uniforms now are kind of generic, they're still AAA for the Reds. So you get to see some
on the board on a Jason Coates RBI single to bring in $1 million. Joey Bartholomew,
the iconic logo and everything. Fairly filled stadium. Of course, it is Durham, which means it's probably 60s there, maybe 50s. So they're between innings. What else we got out here to look at? We've looked at that. Let's look at the Lexington Legends, the town I grew up in. So, despite the fact that it is one of the most god-awful color schemes I've ever seen in my life, I end up going to their games. They're the people last year that scammed me and about, I don't know, several thousand people who had shown up for a game, and they opened up early because, Tebow was coming, and they sold, thousands of dollars in merchandise, thousands of dollars in, concessions and that, and then waited until exactly when the game was supposed to start and called it for a rain, despite the fact it wasn't raining. Everything was covered by tarp. It should have taken about 10 or 15 minutes to clear it. And I think that if you went back and talked to them, they would claim that they did it because they knew more rain was coming. However, me and my brother went and ate afterwards, and as we sat there eating, we were in a place where we had windows, and I didn't see any rain. So, let's see. The Legends are in the white. They are in that kind of blue and green pastelish colors. It is not a terribly good color scheme. They stick with it though, and they particularly stick with, and it's an old baseball guy who's part of their theme, and he's got a big mustache, and they stick with it. I don't know. I think they may be delusional and being hoping that they will somehow eventually get the single A Cincinnati Reds affiliation. That's not going to happen, not as long as Dayton Dragons still exist and is still probably the best show in minor league baseball. But you can be delusional at times if you're a Reds fan. What would really be nice, I think they're probably too far away for A+, advanced A to be there for the North Carolina League. But they probably could do AA. And let's face it, Pensacola, it's an okay stadium. One of the quietest places I've ever watched baseball at, even with a crowd. If Pensacola dried up and closed up tomorrow and they moved them up to Lexington, sure, there'd have to be a bigger stadium built, but the Lexington Legends could be a going concern as a Cincinnati Reds affiliate. Not going to happen. That's totally wish list on my part, because why in the world the Reds are affiliated with a team in Pensacola outside of their zone, right? Makes no sense at all. It makes less sense in Billings, and Billings is not making a whole lot of sense anymore since after they've started, they've got the Greenville Reds going. So let's see what else is out there. Hartford, no. Not somebody I really care for. Mobile. Let's see what Mobile and Pensacola look like in May. This is I went to them 2 years ago. I about boiled to death, about died at Mobile. The stadium was just not good. There's very little shade. It was a daytime game. It started like 11 something, and the whole place was just boiling hot. Absolutely boiling hot, and started at like 11 a.m. in the morning, and it was almost unbearable, right? It wasn't just the heat. The heat was bad. It was the humidity that really killed it. And then they ran games, at least tried to run games between innings. And they had kids there that were there.
One-handed snag for out number 2.
School,
scoreless game here in the top of the first. Nobody on for the Wahoos.
Come out to the game, and I'm sure they got free tickets and all that. But at least one time they ran a kid around the whole, around the bases. I think it may have just been first or third. Poor little girl about died. It was just that hot, right? And the lower parts down where they've boxed it all off and are selling them for money, probably pretty good. And they had, out on the first base side, they had a little restaurant there you could go into. It's kind of more cafeteria type thing than anything else, and it was okay, and it was air conditioned. But the rest of the stadium was just terrible. And much as it's a shame. Apparently, Mobile's going to lose them, and it's going to go off to Huntsville, in Alabama.
Count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Probably
Castillo was added to the Angels' 40-man roster in the offseason,
and
he's one of 2 40-man roster members here on this Bay Bears opening day roster. The 1-1, it's a fastball high, 2-1 the count on Kevin.
The Bay Bears are going to be gone. It would kind of be, the stadium needs upgrading, but you hate to see him lose it. Particularly, I assume, since it says Hank Aaron Stadium, that he's from thereabouts, and if that's where he came from, there really ought to be something about baseball around there. And I don't mean driving a couple hours down the road to go watch Pensacola play. Let's see. Move on to the Bowie Creek Astros playing the Salem Red Sox.
Full with 2 outs here in the first.
Come on, get there. Well, it looks like maybe it'll get there eventually. Bowie Creek Astros are the team that's going to be in Fayetteville as of next year. There's a stadium being built there. Apparently they're playing at some school, I think some college's stadium right now. And I'm supposed to go there in a couple days. I tried to pre-buy tickets, and it kept telling me there was some sort of error, which makes you paranoid. You think, oh, crud, something's wrong with my card. Nope. I was able to buy all the other tickets I wanted to go on this trip. But apparently Bowie Creek just has issues. Or not, they just didn't had issues with selling their tickets. It'll be interesting next year to see what their new stadium's like in Fayetteville, and what they are, if they actually change their name. Houston has a not so great thing where they just name their under teams whatever. Greenville was the Astros before they left. Of course, the Appalachian League always uses the mothership's names, and the Bowie Creek just calling them the Astros is maybe a little bit on the lazy side. Now this actually is being played in Salem, Virginia. Hence the S behind home plate that you just saw half of. This is a really nice stadium. I've only been there once. I keep trying to go back, but every time I try to go back, they're gone, and and then I put it off because, well, I'll be traveling back through that area of Virginia sometime soon. Because if you're out where I'm at in Virginia, and you work anything having to do with the government, you end up having to go to Richmond or other places, all the time, because they ain't coming out here. If you try to get somebody from Richmond to make the 6, 7, 8 hour drive out to where I'm in the far western part of Virginia, they'd freak out. They do freak out. We, on the other hand, are just expected to drive to their part of Virginia. Hilarious. But Salem has, it is outside of Salem, Roanoke area, right? Is basically one city, but Salem is the, I guess, the southern part of it. And this is a really nice stadium, incredibly friendly people, incredibly friendly staff. They had a, fill up your cup. If you bought the souvenir cup, you got to get, extra fill-ups on that for free, which was kind of cool. I just liked this place. I liked it a lot. And so someday I'm going to get back there. I had tried to get back there. As of next Friday, I'm going to go to Bowie Creek, then Kinston to see the Down East Wood Ducks. Then I've got to do some training in Richmond, Virginia, and then I'm going to go to see into Zebulon to watch the Mudcats to make up for the fact that the one time the Mudcats are the only team I've ever left before the game was over, and I left the game because I thought the game was over. Right? They're in like the 5th or 6th inning, something like that, and rainstorm comes in. The stadium actually lost power. I mean, we're talking not just rainstorm, I mean big time lightning storm, right? The stadium actually loses power while we're there. At first they're showing up on the big screen, Major League Baseball and all that. And it's okay. Stadium loses power. And I'm standing up in the concourse and just kind of waiting, and there's a bunch of people who are actually workers there, and they're sitting crying, oh yeah, we're closing down. The only reason we haven't closed down yet is because of lightning, and we don't want to tell people to leave in the middle of the lightning storm. Okay, I was good with that, but I left anyway, right? Got out to the car by the grace of God without being, slammed by a lightning bolt, and left. Only to find out as I'm driving away, well, actually I think I was back at the hotel when I finally found out that they'd restarted the game. So it's the only game I've left without without the game ending or without there being an actual rain out. So I need to make them back up. And we're gonna go. Then I'm gonna go to Durham because I need to see Durham again. It's a really sharp ballpark and everything. And then I'm going to watch the North Carolina Courage in the National Women's Soccer League, and I had planned to watch them on the first day of their season, except for the fact that I had to do some training, had to conduct some training the day after the weekend, or Monday, and had to stay back to train on it, which was not a bad call in the end because apparently they got a bunch of snow dumped on them. So, but it would have been nice to see the Carolina Courage playing the Portland Thorns, which were the two teams in the championship game last year. But I'm still looking forward to going to seeing the game. You're really nice. Carolina, whether it is the Courage or NCFC, they have a, if you're willing to spend the money for $50, you can be sitting on the pitch. And I don't mean a row right up next to the pitch or anything. I mean you're on the pitch, right? They've got enough space that there's one row that's down on the pitch, and there's a barrier about 2 or 3 feet in front of you, and then a few more feet, and 2 or 3, 5 feet more, and there's a line, the side of the pitch, and nice. You can sit there and get an amazingly good view of the game, the match. So I'm going to try that out again, and I tried to work Salem in, but of course, both my way in and way out, they're not going to be available. Let's see if the BC Astros are actually able to get a run in here. And on third, I can't tell how many outs there are, to be honest with you. Ooh, okay. Well, it wasn't quite a pass ball. Been watching a little bit of the Reds this year. I bought the package for Major League Baseball. Well, I didn't buy the whole package. I bought the Reds package for Major League Baseball. Excuse me. Got to reset myself a little bit here. I got a foot that's falling asleep on me. So I bought the Reds package only to have, because I live in Virginia, to have the first 3 games blacked out because they were playing Washington, right? The Nationals. And you got to realize how ridiculous that is. I'm closer to Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, maybe St. Louis. I don't know. It depends on how much that drive would actually take. And Atlanta than I am to D.C., right? Or at least the drives are shorter. And Cincinnati too. And blacking me out from the D.C. market is just dumb, and shows that they don't really have it figured out. But on the other hand, I'm not upset about it because I know the closest team to us is Cincinnati, and since I want to watch Cincinnati, I'm not upset that I'm not getting blacked out by Cincinnati, who apparently has Southern Ohio and Kentucky as their market. So I'm not getting blacked out because I am 30 minutes over the line from Kentucky in Virginia.
To have another way for fans and
man on first and third. Let's see what's going on here.
Baseball. That's right. Cameron Moist and his crew do an amazing job.
Here's the pitch. Whoa, he swung, but he missed. He was over top of that pretty seriously. Coming again. Uh-oh. We got to freeze. Oh, okay, good. Ah, dang it. Pop forward because of
yeah, he sure does. But Ronnie Dawson cut down.
I'm going to assume there was a score there. Dang
nice
it.
job by John Nunez. So there's one away, but running 4-2 the score. And I'm going to go back to that video real quick because
kind of a shame that they're not showing actual scores here. See if we got any sound from them. Doesn't look like they've got sound going.
It's apocryphal, and instead of throwing it away, he marketed it as this new, healthier alternative as a curiosity, and it sold like gangbusters. The man could sell anything, and we're bringing a lot of that showmanship style to the ballpark this year, starting with...
Yeah, don't care. Let me... You're not helping me when you're not talking about scores or anything. They've got not a great audio feed, by the way. Oh, tagged it, but they got him. Into that.
Crew. Wooly Bully playing. I think it was Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs who did Wooly Bully.
Yeah, they have some fun over in the production room.
Absolutely. 2 outs and the base is empty here in the...
I don't know if that's their feed or my not having enough bandwidth here. It's causing this. Problem with a lot of the minor league teams is a lot of times it is their feed, not your bandwidth. Let's move on. We can get actual scores later.
1 ball, 1 strike, and
okay.
2 away as Raudez kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. And we're giving away some Funko Pop figurines.
Low.
That's right. You know, some might call them dolls. Do have these great characters.
Ooh, what the heck was that? Oh, pegged him. That's not going to be good. That just cannot be good for your prospects of going up.
Love Stephen King's writing. I can take the occasional horror movie. Get Out was my favorite movie of last year, but whew, Child's Play just comes to a very dark place in my childhood. 2 outs and a runner at first base for Chucky Robinson as Raudez.
Ball. I had a buddy of mine who insisted that he could predict the calls in baseball, right? So I get him in front of minorleaguebaseball.com, and we kind of run through it. And, you know, he was pretty good. When we were doing A and Advanced A, he was pretty much, he really was kind of able to predict most of the calls, most of the pitches. We got to Double A, he got a lot more spotty. When we got to Triple A, he was not there. Let's see, is anybody going to be coming on later that we might want to look at? Springs, Omaha, no, Tennessee. Tennessee's playing at Mississippi. Oh, that's going on right now. We passed 8 o'clock already? Let's see. Sometimes they tell you that it's playing when it's just, they've just got the background up, and you get to hear some interesting things. Yeah, we got it set up. We're okay. Quit bugging the crap out of me. You know, stuff like that. And that just makes it kind of interesting. But, it doesn't look like they're up yet. I mean, not even running commercials or anything. I will say, I'm a little bit disappointed. The promise is that when you buy the package from MiLB, that you will get all the games for AAA and AA for that year. And I can tell you, because I looked around, that some of the AA teams ain't on here right now. And AAA may be the same way, pretty much everybody's starting today. And Chattanooga, right? Supposed to be playing today. I really wanted to go to Chattanooga today. Could not do it. Couldn't get away from work. If anybody follows my Twitter feed, I was looking around going, okay, they had a Twitter thing showing what their league championship ring looks like, and I was, just kind of have a joke back, said, hey, tell me you're giving away a bunch of those one day, and I'll make the 4 or 5 hour drive out there to stand in line and get one. And they Twitter tweet back, oh, sure, Ken, on the opening day we're going to have it. You can come in and you can sign up for the lottery as to who gets one. Well, my boss is an understanding kind of guy, but he's not going to let me take a day off just so I can go and try to get a lottery chance at winning a ring. So I didn't end up going today. But back to my original thing, they're not on the feed, which is interesting. Smokies versus Braves, Mississippi Braves. So the Braves organization still has Danville Braves, that's their rookie team. They have the Rome Braves, that's their single A team, although I've got to say, give credit to Rome where it's due. They pretty much ignore, they use the Braves stuff a little bit, but mostly they concentrate on the Rome thing, which means they get some pretty cool symbolism there. This is the Mississippi Braves, they're AA. I'm not sure where their advanced A is. They had, at one time, the Mudcats, Carolina Mudcats, which I thought was kind of cool. Although I personally think that if they could get them, Cincinnati should have the Mudcats and Chattanooga because of the C thing, right? It's a good theme. But, for some reason Cincinnati doesn't. I don't know what it is about Cincinnati. They've bounced around a little bit. God bless. Why the Daytona Tortugas, which I guess before that was the Daytona Cubs, because the Cubs is another organization where everybody does Cubs. With the exception of Smokies. The Tortugas, I do not understand the Florida State League. The only reason the Florida State League can really make sense is because they've got all those stadiums there from spring training. Florida State does not. It's low attended. They don't put their games up on the internet. It's just not a great league. Definitely not a league at the level of Advanced A should be carrying. It really should kind of be folded up and going into the Carolina League, or go out west. Go to the doggone California League. They need more. Although apparently the Pecos League is starting to pick up the slack for the California League. Pecos League, I think, which is unaffiliated, is kind of doing the same thing that we saw from the Frontier League, where at first it started out in really small markets and people tried to shoehorn it in, and then after a while they learned the lesson and went off to bigger markets. Like, for instance, my big baseball trip this year is supposed to be to Chicago. Well, along that route, within like 2 hours of Chicago, I'm going to be going to 4 Frontier League teams, right? The normal Corn Belters, the Thunderbolts, the Boomers, and the Slammers, right? They're all like right in on Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago. Normal Corn Belters are a little bit out further, but the rest of them are right in there. And that's because there's more people there, more people will come to the games, as opposed to some of these other places where they really just weren't getting it. So they moved in like that. And I think Pecos League is kind of doing the same thing. They bounced around out into the desert areas and that, trying to get teams up and running, and just by shoestringing. And then, by the grace of God and luck and whatever, they got, the doggone affiliated leagues just abandoned a couple of cities, and the Pecos League was willing to walk in and get some really nice stadiums and that, and really establish themselves in California. So I think that there's a good chance that they're going to turn into, they who were always kind of iffy as to where they might end up, will end up actually doing pretty well and shifting a lot towards California, which is interesting because there's already the Pacific Association out there, and maybe at some point the two of those will end up merging. Although the Pacific Association, I think, has always views itself as better than Pecos League, but if the Pecos League is being aggressive and growing like this, it might end up being the better of the two. Maybe that's a future thing, though. Springfield, there's a team I've never gotten to. Keep making plans to get out there. It just never seems to happen. So, let's see. Cardinals at Rockhounds, the Midland Rockhounds. I'm not sure exactly where that's at, to be honest with you. I don't really follow the Cardinals organization that much because they're the Cardinals organization. The Johnson City Cardinals down the Appalachian League, which I try to make sure I go to one game a year. I've been to Memphis, their AAA team, which is a really nice stadium, and the lights they've got that come on there at night are brighter than daylight. I mean, I don't know how the outfielders look up and don't go instantly blind. So I've been there. I've been to their rookie league. I've been to their AAA.
Talk about him behind his back a bit more in this ball game
I don't
coming
think
up.
I've been to any of their others.
Virginia, tremendous catching prospect.
I will be going to the Peoria Chiefs this year, which I think is a single A. And
catching for the Rockhounds.
We got that.
One of the top catching prospects in the game. Swinging a foul back by Kisner.
Back.
So the two guys who were standing side by side, okay, one's crouching. If you want to, yeah, I know. Okay, be picky. It's opening night. Sean Murphy behind the dish, Kisner at the plate, two of the best, and K-Bear Ruiz, whom we will see this weekend with Tulsa, one of the top catching prospects in the game as well.
Hit the ball, hit the ball.
0-2 the count, bases empty, 2 away, no score in the first, and Seddon's pitch just missed the outside corner. I think he threw it where he wanted it, but just missed a bit up and away. So it's Ramirez, Bolt, and Marin Cove in the outfield. White and White on the left side of the infield. Sportman and Brown on the right side. Murphy behind the plate. The 1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball left side. Third baseman smothers it. Does Mikey White. Throws to first. Inning over.
Okay.
Good play by Mikey, ranging a bit to his left with a sharply hit ball. And the inning is over. So no runs on a base hit. No errors and on the double play. Nobody left. Goodness gracious, we're playing baseball after a half inning. Village Car Wash score. The Springfield Cardinals nothing. And outstanding right-hander Jake Woodford on the mound. And the Hounds are coming to bat.
Let's see what the New Orleans Baby Cakes uniform looks like. I went to a game that they were in last year. I can't remember which game it was, and the uniforms looked pretty decent. I mean, it's a terrible logo. I mean, one of the worst in baseball. I mean, probably worse than the doggone Winston-Salem Dash. But it's not. It is what it is. But the uniforms actually look pretty decent, which I was surprised by. But that's what you see a lot of times in these kind of things. They will choose a purposely bad logo and then work up things so that they actually look halfway decent. You know, good, a decent uniform, stuff like that. But it's hard to get away from that really bad logo.
A lot of fastballs from Conley. That little swinging roller that Fowler beat out for an infield hit.
I think that's really Nashville. It is Nashville in the gray. Obviously, it's a visitor's uniform.
He did just enough for his purposes.
Can't see yet what the
so far
the home team's uniform looks like.
Mediocre contact as Renato Nunez, he's really a big leaguer down here fixing his hamstring.
So 2 down.
Renato Nunez, he's on a major league rehab assignment.
It's interesting watching these minor league teams. Some of them actually go 2 or 3.
He's wearing an Oakland A's batting helmet, the major league helmet.
2 or 3 cameras in, and let's be honest here, they're not working with big monster, super powerful cameras. We're talking about cameras you could probably buy for $500 or $600 down at your local Walmart. High def, most of them. Some of the single A's or rookies that when they show a game, it ain't high def. But most times, high def, pretty decent cameras. But
standards, they aren't the same.
They're not exactly.
Wow, this one's got at least 3. A lot of times they're just satisfied with this shot. The shot from behind the plate, which actually gives you a good view of the game if the guy behind it actually runs it right. Sometimes they just make it such a big shot and you see the whole field from behind the plate. And those can be a little bit tough. Particularly if it's like a long play. Oh, they didn't get him.
To second base is not going to be in time. Fowler, who we mentioned has tremendous speed, will steal second base.
A pretty good jump off of Conley.
A good look at their
throw was right
the
there.
numbers are kind of
by the catcher.
carnivalish.
Right on the money, but a tad tardy.
Okay.
Again, just as we noted, fastball with some life on it, hanging around 92. He had it as high as 94. Conley, at least in the early going here, in inning number 1, is showing some lively stuff.
2 balls and a strike now with 2 away. Now to the batter, Renato Nunez. And the 2-1 pitch. Fastball missing away for ball 3, 93.
I'm told our new pitching coach this year, Jeremy Powell, came up from, Double-A in the
Single A. He was the Jupiter Hammerheads pitching coach a year ago in the Florida State League.
Yeah, and he's been in this organization for a while, had a lot of success.
Okay, come on. Let's see a pitch. Where's the friggin' time? Oh, he stepped out.
I'll say for a round number 80.
Is there a rule that says they're not supposed to step out anymore? The most unenforced rule in baseball. While they're worried about pace of play.
Ball left field, Shuck coming in, and the Kinks left fielder is there to make the catch. No runs, a hit, and a man left on base. We played a half inning of baseball from the Shrine. It's Nashville nothing, and the Kinks coming to bat.
Who the heck names their baseball stadium the Shrine? Yeah, that's not terrible. And while they go to play whatever game they're going to play, let's move on to something else.
It was perfect. Yeah, just light enough, but it's got a little...
See what West Michigan South Bend looked like. West Michigan was a nice stadium. They actually sold more Detroit stuff when I was there than they were actually selling their own logo and things. The Whitecaps is not a great logo. I'm sure you could probably get somebody to rework it and make it really good. But it's not a great logo, and the Detroit logo was traditional, and people just wore it more. It had the most I've seen at any store in minor leagues with stuff from the mothership, right? And you didn't see a whole lot of people wearing the Whitecaps thing. Kind of a confusing logo, to be honest with you. On the other hand, the South Bend Cubs, which used to be the Silverhawks, and when I went there last year, they still had their Silverhawk mascot. They had a cub too, a bear.
1 and 2 the count. It was
but they held on to their Silverhawk mascot. I don't know, probably not this year. But they were, they had painted a bunch of stuff in cubby colors and, little dancing cubs everywhere or something. The kind of thing that the Tennessee Smokies have avoided doing, and this is one of the reasons the Tennessee Smokies are such an awesome experience and everything. They've really made themselves into a unique experience. Not Cubby South.
I looked at the radar for that Tuesday game, and I thought,
it's a pretty decent
my
thing.
goodness, that's going to be a tough call. And I know you had a
bit of showers during
but
the game, but then
South
it
Bend is one
lasted
of the places
briefly,
I
and
get
they were able
there.
to ride it out.
You
It was
know,
phenomenal.
I do will call, and the girl at will call fusses at me because I didn't print out my receipt to bring with me. Obviously, I had the card I bought it with,
part of you thinks, well, this is just
and I had my ID, so it was obviously me. I mean, I don't know how many people go out of their way to scam a, I think it was a $20 ticket.
We'll get the stat department on the
there were plenty of tickets available. Somebody else could have bought it pretty much the same price that I paid. I thought the other thing worth stealing. And he's down.
And the top of the sixth, and Burris Warner strands
interesting with
the South Bend
water
Cubs.
circle around
by
their
Burris
arms.
Warner. Let's go to the
Nights at the ballpark. And NBA approaching the end of the regular season. Let's see if they've been paying attention to those sharpshooters in the NBA. Let's meet our teams. On the first base side, it's Avery and Allie. On the third base side, it's Sky and Willie. Whichever team can make the most
10:05 El Paso. I really would like to be able to win that one a little bit, but I gotta tell you, folks, for mine, watch is 8:05 now, and I think I'm going to kind of wrap this up. I just really wanted to see how well it would work. I'm really surprised that I can actually do as good a streaming as I am here. You will probably see this more now between here and, say, USL, which is really kind of cool in how they put everything online on the internet. So, well, you know, Clinton and King County postponed. There must be rain in Chicago. Or snow, who knows. Well, still a game. Okay, folks, I'm going to call it quits here. At least, you know, done a quick survey of what's going on out there in the minor league world. And I've been able to test to see how I can get all this to run. And with that, I'm just kind of going to let it go. And I wish you all a good day. I may actually start doing this night after night if I can get a decent feed, upstream. So we'll see. And y'all have a good day. And as always, if you like this, hit like. Yeah, I know it's just kind of a rambly thing. Yeah, that's interesting. Rambly thing today. And so don't expect, you know, huge miracles and all that. I don't expect a whole lot of people to say this is wonderful and like it forever and subscribe forever because of this one. I mean, there's still things that need to be worked out. But it's not bad at all, the way this is feeding. We'll have to see what it actually turns out like on the internet. It keeps telling me it's dropping frames. I think what it does is it both lets me save it here and saves it on YouTube. And we'll see. And, you know, as I always say, you know, if you like kind of what you're seeing here, subscribe and look around a little bit and just, you know, watch everything 9 million times because that's the only way anybody's going to make money off of YouTube anymore. This is pretty much a passion project, not a profit project. Believe you me, the moment I decide to make this profit run, and I'm not saying I won't, but the moment I decide to make this profit run, what you're going to see is me going and getting Patreon or GoFundMe or whatever it is and trying to get something that way. And finally, last thing I got to say is, same thing I say every time, go watch some minor league sports. I'll see you soon.